2008, the case of Caylee Anthony shook the nation, captivating the public's attention and igniting debates across the country. Caylee was accused of murdering her 2-year-old daughter, Caylee Anthony, in a case that would go on to be one of the most controversial and closely watched trials in modern American history. Despite overwhelming media attention and a highly publicized trial, the shocking not guilty verdict left the truth of Caylee's death uncertain and sparked questions about the justice system itself. This is the story of the Caylee Anthony case. On June 15, 2008, Caylee Anthony was reported missing by her grandmother, Cindy Anthony. According to Caylee Anthony, her daughter had been abducted by a babysitter. However, as days passed without evidence of the alleged abduction, suspicions began to mount. Caylee's behavior, her lack of urgency and refusal to immediately report the disappearance, raised alarms among family members and law enforcement. Caylee's lies about the babysitter, combined with her failure to provide any concrete details, led police to question her involvement in Caylee's disappearance. In the meantime, the investigation intensified as Caylee's body was eventually discovered in a wooded area near the Anthony family home, just months after she was reported missing. The investigation into Caylee's death uncovered numerous inconsistencies in Caylee Anthony's story. While Caylee initially claimed that Caylee had been abducted, forensic evidence soon suggested otherwise. The discovery of human remains near the Anthony family's home, combined with the evidence of chloroform traces in the trunk of Caylee's car, painted a disturbing picture. The prosecution argued that Caylee intentionally killed her daughter and disposed of her body in a manner that indicated premeditation. The presence of duct tape over Caylee's mouth was a key piece of evidence. The prosecution believed pointed to murder. However, there were no direct witnesses to the crime, and the cause of death remained inconclusive, leaving gaps in the prosecution's case. The defense, led by attorney Jose Baez, claimed that Caylee's death was accidental, suggesting that she may have drowned in the family pool. The defense painted Caylee as a mother who panicked and, out of fear, covered up her daughter's death. This theory was met with skepticism, especially given the evidence that contradicted it. The trial of Caylee Anthony began in 2011 and quickly became a media sensation. The courtroom was packed with reporters, and the public was glued to their televisions, captivated by the twists and turns of the case. The prosecution presented a case that included a timeline of lies, misleading statements, and suspicious behaviors on the part of Caylee. They argued that she had deliberately killed her daughter to live a carefree life. However, the defense team skillfully poked holes in the prosecution's case. They highlighted the lack of definitive evidence and raised doubts about whether Caylee's death could even be proven to be a homicide. Caylee's defense argued that the prosecution's theory was based on assumptions and that there was not enough solid evidence to convict her beyond a reasonable doubt. After weeks of testimony and deliberation, the jury returned with their verdict. Caylee Anthony was found not guilty of first-degree murder, but was convicted on 4 counts of providing false information to law enforcement. The not guilty verdict shocked the nation. Many believed that Caylee had gotten away with murder, while others argued that the prosecution failed to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. The trial raised difficult questions about the justice system and how it handles cases with circumstantial evidence. Despite her acquittal, Caylee Anthony became a symbol of controversy, as the public remained divided on whether she was truly guilty or innocent. The media frenzy around the case continued long after the verdict. Caylee became one of the most infamous figures in modern American legal history, with the public scrutinizing every aspect of her life. Her acquittal and the unresolved nature of Caylee's death sparked debates about the adequacy of the legal system in solving cases without direct evidence. The Caylee Anthony case continues to be discussed and analyzed in documentaries, books, and articles. It has sparked debates about parental responsibility, the media's influence on public perception, and the complexities of the criminal justice. For many, the case will always be remembered as an example of how difficult it can be to achieve justice when solid evidence is lacking. While Caylee's death remains a tragedy, the case also left an indelible mark on American society, raising important notes at some hand. About how we approach the trial of highly publicized cases and the impact of public opinion on justice. What do you think? Was Caylee Anthony guilty of murdering her daughter? Or did the prosecution fail to prove their case? Leave your thoughts in the comments below as we continue to explore some of the most controversial and high-profile cases in history. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Caylee Anthony case, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more true crime stories and legal breakdowns. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.